Alexander Pushkin is a name that resonates across Russia and beyond, often considered the father of modern Russian literature. But who was he really, and why does his legacy stretch so far beyond the borders of his homeland? In this video, we'll explore the life and work of a man who shaped not just a nation's literature, but also its very soul. Pushkin's influence continues to echo in literature, philosophy, and culture, connecting the dots between history and human nature. His ability to speak universally through his stories, characters, and poetic vision is why his works remain relevant today, even to the most distant audiences. Born in 1799 in Moscow, Pushkin's life was marked by an aristocratic upbringing and an education at the prestigious Tsarskoye Selo Lyceum, where the young poet's genius began to surface. Imagine a young boy surrounded by tutors and the best minds of the time, growing up in a turbulent Russia filled with revolutionary ideas and classical influences. This environment gave Pushkin the unique ability to balance the old-world beauty of Russian aristocracy with the new philosophical movements sweeping across Europe. His early encounters with writers, poets, and philosophers like the poet Dzержavin and the critic Belinsky ignited his passion for literature and ideas that would later define his own works. But perhaps most important was Pushkin's deep love of Russian folktales, history, and the folk soul, elements that would become central to his writing. From a young age, he knew that literature had the power to reshape the world, and he was determined to be at its heart. Pushkin's poetic career skyrocketed after his early works were published. His first major success came with the poem Ruslan and Lyudmila, a heroic epic inspired by Russian folklore. But it wasn't until Eugene Onegin, his novel in verse, that Pushkin truly captured the essence of Russian society. A tale of unrequited love, social isolation, and the consequences of choices, Onegin is still seen as the blueprint for the modern Russian novel. Pushkin didn't just write poetry. He reshaped Russian drama with Boris Godunov, delving into the historical roots of Russia's monarchy and struggles for power. He also tackled the complexities of the Russian soul in works like The Captain's Daughter, exploring themes of loyalty, honor, and revolution. His works bridge the gap between the personal and the historical, making his writing timeless and universal. Pushkin was not just a poet, he was a thinker. His works are filled with philosophical inquiries about life, freedom, and fate. As a young man, he was exposed to the radical ideas of the Enlightenment and Romanticism, which stirred his desire to explore the deeper meaning of existence. He questioned the nature of freedom, the limitations imposed on the human spirit, and how we must confront our destiny. During his lifetime, Pushkin was acquainted with prominent philosophers like Herzen and Belinsky, whose own philosophical ideas often mirrored Pushkin's questions about the Russian state and its people. Through his poetry, he explored ideas of individualism, destiny, and the tension between the personal and the social. Even in his most romantic works, he conveyed the message that freedom and self-realization were central to the human experience. Pushkin's works were deeply interwoven with the historical events of his time. The political unrest, the Napoleonic Wars, the Decembrist Rebellion, and the ongoing tensions between the Russian aristocracy and serfs all shaped his worldview. While Pushkin was initially part of the Russian elite, his sympathies often lay with the common people, and he became an advocate for their struggles, even if subtly. His portrayal of Russian history in Boris Godunov and The Captain's Daughter is not merely historical recounting, but an exploration of the psyche of the Russian people. Pushkin's deep understanding of Russia's past, combined with his own political experiences, his exile for his radical views, made him a unique commentator on the social and political landscape of his time. Beyond the public figure, Pushkin was a man of deep passion and complexity. His personal life was full of drama, from his turbulent love affairs to his infamous duel with Georges-Charles de Hekerin, which led to his untimely death. Pushkin's personality, at once passionate, rebellious, and deeply introspective, shines through in his work. His love for his wife, his fierce loyalty to his friends, and his battles with the authorities all reflect the intense emotions that fueled his art. These personal struggles and triumphs did not just make Pushkin a legend in the literary world. They connected him to the hearts of the Russian people, who saw in him not only a poet, but a symbol of their own aspirations and frustrations. Pushkin's influence extended far beyond his own time. His works formed the foundation for Russian literature, inspiring generations of writers and poets. He gave Russian literature a voice that could articulate the nuances of human nature and societal struggle, and his impact is still felt today. Modern Russian writers like Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, and Chekhov all owe a debt to Pushkin's literary innovations. Pushkin's cultural legacy is also visible in Russia's art, theater, and music. From countless adaptations of Eugene Onegin to operas based on his works, Pushkin remains a central figure in Russian culture. His image graces statues, schools, and even postage stamps, signifying his enduring importance. Even today, Pushkin's works resonate with people around the world, not just because of their literary genius, but because they deal with themes that are universal: love, freedom, destiny, and the human spirit. His exploration of Russian identity continues to offer insight into the soul of the nation, but his work transcends borders. Pushkin has given humanity a mirror to look into, one that reflects the complexities of life, history, and the human heart. Pushkin's legacy is not just for Russians, it's for everyone who believes that literature can be a window to understanding life itself. He remains not just a Russian icon, but a global one, whose works continue to inspire, challenge, and captivate audiences worldwide.